So, hi everybody, it's Tim here, and I am joined by the lovely Rory once again. Because, as you know, who else would I be with in this state of mind?
I don't know, honestly. I think at this point, like, the sleep deprivation is really kicking in, so maybe this is just all a fever dream.
Yeah. Okay, then, well, we're here because we just saw the first dress rehearsal for the Grand Final, and we've got some highlights that we just want to talk about. So, let's get on with it. All right, then, so we now have all 26 finalists, and we saw them perform earlier this afternoon. Rory, because we haven't had a chance to talk about this, how do you think the flow of the show is, and what do you think of the bits we saw? Because we didn't obviously see everything, so what do you think of it?
Yeah, so we only really got to see the opening act, and then, like, the part where all the songs are being performed. Then, obviously, because after that, then we had to be escorted back into the media centre. I think, like, coming after Thursday's night show, where it was very, like, prop, and there was a lot of delays. I think this time they've kind of worked it out a little bit better so that they can pace things a little bit easier, so there's not as many delays. There are still delays, obviously, but I do think it is working better in their favour in that kind of sense, just as a way to kind of relax. So yeah, I would say overall, it's not a bad flow of the show, to be honest. Yeah. What do you?
I think they managed to get the flow perfect, and I think they put the breaks in perfectly because you got, like, let's say you got the France thing that we're going on, where obviously they can take like a couple of minutes to set up, and then also you've got obviously Sweden as well, and that it's that last round of songs where you got prop heavy.
Yeah, when you think
staging,
because when you think about it, like, you've got like those last four songs. You've got Sweden, France, San Marino, and also Albania. Like, all of those, all having some degree of like big prop-ish things. It is taking extra time, but like they do manage to make it work just about. So I would still be prepared for probably a couple of delays just in case, because they want to make sure things are going well. You know.
Okay, then, so who was your highlight? Because I know that we are going to put a pinch of salt in this because some of them have literally just qualified last night. Yeah. So some of them are not 100%, but we'll explain about that later. But who do you think was your highlight out of that afternoon run?
It's a really tough question because, like, to be honest, a lot of the shows kind of looked similar to what they did in the semi-finals, but like we were just more looking out for any kind of changes in the camera work or things like that, and so there wasn't that much difference. But I think the one that really stood out to me as in a good way was Finland. So Erika, like, she ended up basically the microphone wasn't attached properly, so she couldn't actually go up the first time around. She was given a run through for the second time. But even if she wasn't able to go on the actual microphone, she was still like showing off. She was getting the audience engaged, right? And it looked amazing. It doesn't matter whether or not she's on a mic or she's not on a mic. She's got power, right? And like, we were cheering her on like crazy. And I think, she has this star power that I think, like, I've not really seen this in quite a long time, to be honest. So I'm really, really hoping that, like, well, first of all, I really hope that the microphone actually works this time, because the second time, obviously, it did work, but we want it to happen on the first go. I really hope that will kind of work in her favor. Yeah.
I think for me, I'm trying to think who really impressed me the most this afternoon. Because, I'm having that same problem with you. It's like, I would say Luxembourg. I hate that. Not that I hate, but like I'm just curious about the hate. Yeah, no, I just feel sorry. No, that is actually. I feel sorry that they got put second.
Yeah,
like that was a bit of a. I really wanna. I think I know Krista did an interview with someone about running order, but I don't think I heard anything, or maybe I have. I just forgotten about it. But like Luxembourg being put second, I'm really curious how they got to that position.
What was that kind of rationale? Yeah.
But I will applaud Laura though that last night she just qualified and now she just has to do it again. And she managed to. A bit strained. I think this is the problem with the semi-final 2 qualifiers, where they're it's non-stop for them as opposed to semi-final one where you had a bit of a break.
couple of days where they can kind of rest and they can kind of get used to kind of being in the final and stuff. Whereas people in the semi-final too, they had to basically just go straight to bed and like rest before they start going into like final rehearsals. So I get it.
Yeah. But I will commend them for that. But also, I do want to give out a shout out to Sissel because when we were there, she was like,
so good.
Yeah, no, but she was like, out of her own volition, she said, we got to the chorus like, we're not hearing the chorus, and she was like, you're gonna have to sing the chorus for me.
Yeah, and so literally there was a point where she was like, guys, like, I'm on vocal rest, I can't do all of this. And so we all just immediately jumped into singing the chorus stuff, and like she kind of harmonized with us on like the lower kind of registers and stuff, but like we understood why she was doing it because look, this is Denmark's first time in the final since 2019, so like obviously they want her to be vocally perfect, so
especially tonight.
Well, this is it, right? Because tonight is the jury final and it needs to be perfect. I think she's definitely more able to get jury points if she has a really strong vocal, and she told us this as well, that she was going to deliver in the jury show, so I am very much looking forward to it.
All right. Now, we did qualifiers in the last videos.
We did.
So...
and I don't know how well we did with those predictions.
Yeah, no, I have brain fog, but let's do this quickly because we have a quick meeting to go to.
We do.
Your top three. I don't know if you want to do this as prediction or your personal top three. Do you want to give both?
I'll do a prediction. I think 'cause prediction is a little bit easier to call. Okay, third place I'm going to give to Finland. I think that is definitely the most likely position it'll get. Second place, Sweden. I think Sweden's not winning. And I'll explain why. Because my first is France. I think France could go all the way and win this. I think, a lot of the main favorites alienate a lot of of their audience. If for example, Switzerland, for example, might be a little bit too quiet. Sweden might be a little bit too much of a joke. Skådespelare Elektronike, obviously, hello. They might be a little bit too ethnic for some people. I think France really strikes that balance of being a really classy pop song with really interesting staging and has the potential for real commercial success, which is stuff that the jury absolutely loves. And the stage performance of it also looks really, really good. And, like the story that she's telling on the stage, I think people will get drawn into it. And so I think it will still do really, really well with the televote. And I think it could be a potential jury winner. But I do think maybe the amount of televote points might not be a huge amount, but I do think the jury will pretty much carry her to being a winner.
Okay, well, I'm going to be upfront. I have got the three in my head, but I'm going to do it in different order.
Okay.
Third, and you're going to hate, I don't know if you're going to hate me for this, France.
That's fine.
No, the only reason why I think of this is I see Luan doing a Barbara.
Okay.
Where, she got close to the jury vote, and she also got close to the televote. Right. So, she'll rank high up, but she won't do a Jamala.
Right, okay. Intriguing.
So that's my reasoning for that. Second, Erica.
Okay.
Because Erica, would do we saw how it was in UMK where she got close on the audience vote, but not on the audience when the jury vote, but on the audience vote she landslided.
Yeah.
I can see the same thing happening for her where she has a bit of an advantage on the public vote rather than the jury vote. She'll score high, but just not enough to topple over. But not as close as obviously, or my winner is obviously Sweden, because I think now that I saw the way the Mello vote worked out, I think I'm a bit more, I wouldn't necessarily say complacent, but I think I can see a path for juries actually voting for, because I think it's the bit where they're just flowing.
Yeah. Compared
to Carrier and Baby Lasagna where it felt a bit forced.
Yeah.
As in Kai, it's just okay, fun, sauna, and then
they can have a rest in it. Yeah,
they can. I think juries look for originality and the way a performance would flow. So that's why
Yeah, no,
I see a path. I don't have my other one, JJ Austria. I just finding it really difficult to place it in the top 3.
Yeah, no,
but
I totally get that. I think, to be honest, out of any combination of those 3, I think could easily be valid. I really do think so.
All right then, but anyways, that's what we thought of the dress rehearsal. We are going to have the jury show in a bit, but what do you guys think of our thoughts so far? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, push the notification bell to be one of the first people to find out when we have a new video. Also, don't forget to follow That Eurovision site at That Your Site on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky.
And Tumblr. And
I always forget Tumblr.
Always, never forget Tumblr.
And also, don't forget to follow That Eurovision podcast at That Your Podcast for your podcasting needs. But anyways, I think this may be the last bit from us until Sunday morning.
Maybe.
All right, Valentina. But if you don't hear from us, we would just say thank you so much for your support for the 2025 season. You have no idea how amazing it is to know that you're always there for us and for giving us our best season ever.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure to cover the show.
So we will see you on the other side when we maybe have a winner.
See you later.